Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Let us introduce us first. We are Juan David Castaño, Luz Medina, and Angelica Peña. We are all students from the EAN University. In this video, we are going to try to answer the following question. How do you think British culture history has affected the decision of not fully joining the European Union and the result of the current Brexit situation? We are going to split this topic in three different parts. What is the British culture history? What was the UK's relationship between the European Union before Brexit? And finally, what is the Brexit end result after the Brexit? I would like to start talking about the great power of Britain in the colonization and wars in a very summarized way. Okay, the United Kingdom has been of the major embodies of history. They had colonies in almost all countries in the beginning of its colonization. Let's start talking about the Celts tribe in the 5th century before the Christ era. They were divided in three towns, the Picts, the Gauls, and the Bretons. Just to give you an idea where they were located, let's find out the colors. The Picts were located in Scotland, which is the blue color. The Gauls were located in Northern Ireland, which is the green color, and the Bretons were located in the England region, which is North England, Central England, also Greater London, and the Southern England. But what is important to mention these cell tribes because they live during three different eras: the Iron Age, the Roman Age, and the post-Roman era. And they left their legacy, which was religion, culture, tradition, and a very important one, language. Then the Roman came to the shores of Britain and they created the province of Britain. They also created laws, customs, buildings, bridge, and its empire lasted up to the age of 110 after rise. Next page, please. The Angles, Jutes, and Saxons invasion. The Jutes and Angles and Saxons came from Europe to the England, and they created the name of England, basically. Angles, England. You can make the relationship between. Angles and Saxons were divided in 7 kingdoms. After that, the Vikings came to England to invade the island, and this is why the figure of the first kingdom of England appeared. The first kingdom of England was named like a Tesla. And it is here, it is the point where the monarchy started. In the 3rd century, England decided to expand its territories, so they decided to invade Scotland. Unfortunately, they couldn't now defeat Scotland, so after a long period, they decided to go to invade France, which they couldn't also now defeat French, unfortunately, and this was the 100-year war. Period later, in the 16th century, it was also the expansion of the Spanish territory, who the Spanish Empire dominated a lot of part of the world. Angie, could you please move on to the next one? Yeah, this is called the Anglo-Spain War. It was in the 1585 and 1604. The Anglo-Spain War was an intermittent conflict between the Kingdom of Spain and the Kingdom of England. It was under the order of the Queen Elizabeth I, who sent ships to attack merchant Spanish ships coming full of gold, plate, copper from Latin America countries. These ships was on their under the order of the King of Spain, Philip II. After that, the England colonized or create the 13 colonies order, who these colonies were Virginia, New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. And one important fact here is that the British people brought from Africa the slave. That's why almost all the United States are full of dark skinned people. After a certain period of time, the United States claimed their independence. It was in July 1776, and also and of course the Australia and India replaced all the merchandise, all the business that the 13 colonies used to supply to Britain. Next page, please. Yeah, the Act of Union. After a lot of years being with fights between Scotland and England, they finally decide to join. So they created in 1707 the Kingdom of Great Britain. Now, the Kingdom of Great Britain became one of the most important nations in the world for a long time, uh, placing a lot of colonies in different parts of the world, in different continents. In the age of 1800, the Kingdom of Great Britain joining finally to the Ireland, creating or forming the world that we know today, United Kingdom. Could you please move to the next one? After all this period, the Britain became in a very powerful country, in a very powerful island. So here is where the World War started, with the Triple Ententes and the Triple Alliance in France, Great Britain, Russia versus Austria-Hungary, Germany, and Italy. This World War I took place in 1914 and up to 1918, where British played a very important role in the war, and British came very famous from the war. Also, the World War II, where Germany, Italy, Japan versus United States, France, Great Britain, Soviet Union, and Canada. Something here to mention is Italy and Germany always has been part of the versus or the Axis power. Next page, please. Finally, we can see here in these two images, in the left side, we can see highlighted in red the places where the Great Britain create colonies, or they were to establish their power and supremacy. In the right place is an image with the places with their own name. Now we are going to start with the other topic, that is the relationship that has UK with the European Union before the Brexit, and Luz is gonna start talking about this. I cannot hear you, Luz. You're mute. Please unmute.
Thank you very much, Juan, for the introduction. Continue with the explanation of the research conducted to answer the regular question. We decided that it was necessary to learn about the relationship between the European Union and the United Kingdom. We will take a trip back in time, explaining the history before Brexit. As early as the 1930s, Winston Churchill advocates European integration and even calls for the creation of the United States of Europe. But Churchill does not look favorably on the United Kingdom participating in this project. Fear of opening this heavily protected economy to a competition from European industries led the United Kingdom to decide not to join to European coals and steel community in 1951. The country faced a similar dilemma when faced with the proposed European Economic Community a few years later. Next, please. In 1955, the United Kingdom has very little trade with the continent compared to the Commonwealth. A membership in the community would mean the end of preferential treatment for the Commonwealth. Participation in the common market would also expose to country-to competition from European industries. UK exports to the European cybersecurity chains countries account for 1.5% of its exports to the Commonwealth. In 1957, French, West Germany, Belgium, Italian, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands signed the Treaty of Rome, creating the European Economic Community, the predecessor of today's European Union. Two other organizations are created, the European Atomic Energy Community and the European Economic Community. The latter is created under the Treaty of Rome. Both are made of the same 6 countries and the XC. By 1960, Austria, Denmark, Norway, Portugal, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom created a rival body, the European Free Trade Association. Like the EEC, it aims to establish free trade, but opposes the creation of supranational institutions. Next one, please. Here. In 1961, the UK submits its first application for EEC membership under conservative PM Harold Macmillan. 1963, the British application is vetoed by French President Charles de Gaulle. 1965, Margaret Thirsty is signed combined Euratom, EEC, and SCSC in a single body, the European Communities. 1967, the United Kingdom submits a second application under the Premier Minister Harold Wilson. Again, is blocked by the Council. 1978, the 6th EEC members complete a customs union, eliminating all import duties between them. 1973, the UK submits a third and successful application, this time under Conservative Premier Minister Edward Heath. Next one, please. June 5, 1975, the UK holds a referendum to confirm its membership in the EEC, following a renegotiation led by Labour Premier Minister Harold Wilson. The British people vote to remain by 67% or 30%. 1979, the first European Parliament elections are held. The exchange rate mechanism is lauded. 1984, Conservative Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher negotiated a reduction in the British contribution to the EC budget. 1885, the Schengen Treaty signing created a border-free zone in the most member states. The United Kingdom does not sign it. 1968, the Single European Act is signed, setting in motion an ambitious plan to create a single market by the end 2092. 2009, the Eurozone crisis erupted following the world economic problems caused by the global financial crisis. 2015, migrant crisis begins, refugees and migrants travel to EU across to Mediterranean or through Southeast Europe in search of asylum. Many are fleeing armed conflicts in the Middle East. In the following years, British intends to practice full in European integration text to form a number of opt-out. In the run-up to a second referendum on British membership to be held in 2060. Next one. The British government negotiation and special status for the UK with the European Union. And for many, the country of Brexit has never really believed in full European integration because of the Eurosceptics of part of the political class and population. We can continue with
Okay. These six guys that we are watching in the screen play a very important role in the Brexit. Some of them were agree and some of them were disagree. You can see here David Cameron say that he wants to remain, Nigel Farage he wants to leave, Theresa May he wants to remain, Boris Johnson's leave. So at the end of the day, they decide to apply a referendum, which we can see in the left side that people who decide remain was the 48.2%, and the people who decide leave was the 51.9%. And this decision was took in June 23, 2016. And the Brexit was the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the European Union. So now let's go to discuss a little bit more about the Brexit with Angelica. So Angelica, please go ahead.
Thank you, Juan. Okay, I'm going to talk about Brexit and what has happened after 3 years of this implementation. Its immediate and long-term effects. First of all, I'm going to explain what Brexit means. It's the abbreviation of two words, British plus exit, signifying the UK's departure for the European Union. I will discuss the beginning and the current evolution of the Brexit, starting in 1973, when the United Kingdom joined the European Economic Community, a precursor to the European Union. This entailed the removal of the UK's ability to impose tariffs on EU countries and control to the flow of goods with restrictions. This change had a negative impact on many British companies, resulting in decreased competitiveness and experiencing a wage decreases along with an increased unemployment. In 2013, David Cameron plays EU referendum if the Conservatives win elections. In 2016, the United Kingdom holds a referendum yielding another 52% vote in favor of leaving the EU. In 2017, David Cameron resigns post-referendum and Theresa May becomes as a prime minister. In 2018, Theresa May negotiates the withdrawal agreement with the EU approved by the EU, but not the British Parliament. In 2019, Theresa May seeks to delay the UK's EU departure. Later resigns, succeeded by Boris Johnson, and subsequently, in this same year, Johnson leads the UK's exit on January 31, 2020, and the UK and the European negotiate an effective trade agreement for January 1st, 2021. Okay. Several advantages were proposed, include the control over the influx of migrants occupying British jobs. Another benefit was the ability to negotiate more favorable trade agreements with other countries, potentially leading to job creation and economic growth. Additionally, it aimed at reducing taxes and bureaucracy processes. Okay, there are some disadvantages about lead the United Kingdom to negotiate separate trade agreements with EU countries, potentially resulting in trade barriers and higher tariffs in the near future. The eventual loss of EU funds designed for infrastructure and development could have a negative impact on the UK's economy. Companies face uncertainty, potentially leading to job losses and decrease in investment. As some may choose to recollect outside of the UK. Additionally, future immigration restrictions stemming from Brexit could make it challenging for British companies to find skilled workers, affecting diversity. Okay, Brexit has had immediate effects to the United Kingdom in the market. It has led to reduced trade openings, foreign direct investment, and immigration growth. Border frictions and transportation costs have introduced new trade barriers, and return to previous levels of foreign investment is unlikely. Regulations have also changed, impacting both UK and EU businesses, altering international trade and establishing new rules for manufacturers and importers. Additionally, British pound has depreciated since the 2016 Brexit referendum, reflecting a negative outlook from international investors on the UK economy outside the European Union. Okay, long-term effects. Overall, the impact of the Brexit on the UK economy has been negative. The UK has lost economic growth, jobs, and trade. It's too early to determine whether Brexit will be beneficial or detrimental to the UK in the long term. But it's evident that it has had a significant impact on the country so far. Now, Juan, if you want, make a conclusion about the main topic,
Yeah.
please.
Personally, I think that the Brits has in their blood the supremacy and the power. They always wanted to be the leaders of everything. That's why I think it's not easy for them to be ruled for laws that they didn't do. I mean, when I say laws, I mean when the European Union make laws, they disagree about these laws because the laws didn't rule it in the United Kingdom, basically. Now, what do you think, Liz?
Luz?
Yeah, okay. In my opinion, one of the factors of ethics is the British culture has been influenced from the beginning by dictatorships and monarchies, which has made that even to this day many of its inhabitants tends to measure themselves in social class and powers, also in the mindstance of their sovereignty issues they are even taught in school and passed down from generation to generation. What do you think, Angelica?
Okay, I think that British culture and history have played a significant role in the decision not fully join the European Union and the outcome to the current Brexit situation. The island mentally ingrained in Britain is identified as fostered, and since the independence of self-reliance, leading many to believe that they can subside outside a larger political and economic union. And that's it. This is my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very
I
much for
think,
watching. See you next time, guys.
Okay.
yeah,
Bye-bye.
thank you too. Next time. Bye.